Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video, and in it we're going to be talking about the circular flow of income. So this is macroeconomics, and it is from the point of view of a student who is studying the EduQuas exam board for economics A-level. So, circular flow of income, what is it? Well, it is an economic model showing the flow of goods and services, factors of production, and payments from households and firms in one economy. The more simple version can be looked at without withdrawals and injections into this economy or into the circular flow of income. What this means is that the money that is in the circular flow of income or in the economy stays. No extra money is brought in and no extra money is taken out. This means that national income, national output, and national expenditure are all the same. Because the money that goes in stays in. Now, injections and withdrawals, what are they? Well, injections is putting money into the economy, and this can be in the form of exports, for example, where we receive money for our goods and services. So we send goods and services abroad and receive payment in the form of government spending on things like infrastructure, for example, and by investment. So investment by multinational corporations who want to come into our economy, by external firms and by domestic firms as well. On the other hand, withdrawals from the circular flow of income are taking money out. So taking out money out of the economy. And this comes in forms such as imports, where we buy goods and services from other countries. So we send them money for our goods and services. In forms such as taxation, where the government raises tax on like income tax, for example, or corporation tax, which essentially is taking money out of people's pockets so they have less disposable income to spend on goods and services, and so money is taken out of the circular flow of income. And also saving as well. So for example, if central bank sets really high interest rates, consumers are going to be really incentivized to save their money instead of spending it on goods and services, and so money will be taken out of the circular flow of income. Now, I've made a whiteboard slide, which I realize is flipped now, so I'm going to try and find a way to flip the screen back afterwards, but explaining the 4 steps or the 4 main steps in the circular flow of income. So, the first step is that firms provide goods and services to households that they can then go and buy. The second step being that households then spend their income to buy these goods and services provided by the firms. The third step is that households also provide factors of production to the firm, these being land, labour, capital and entrepreneurship. And the fourth step being that the firms take these factors of production and pay the households or pay the consumers or whatever. And this repeats on and on. Cool, get that later. This repeats on and on. Cool, amazing. I think it's also important when we're looking at the circular flow of income to look at some key definitions, such as GDP or gross domestic product. And this is a measure of national output in an economy. It is the total value of domestic goods and services in an economy in a 1-year period. There are a couple different types of GDP as well, such as nominal GDP, which is GDP at face value, and it doesn't account for inflation in an economy. And there's also real GDP, which does, on the other hand, account for inflation in an economy. An example of how these differ can be seen on the other side of the little whiteboard, or on the top half, so I will show the top half only. So on this side here, we can see an example. So on year 1, say we have £100, and between year 1 and year 2, we experience 20% inflation. So that at the end of year 2, we have £120. Obviously, the spending power of our money has gone down. But anyway, nominal GDP would say that there has been a 20% increase in GDP in our economy in this 1-year period, whereas real GDP would say there has been no change at all. So that's the difference between the two, that real GDP can only really be changed by an increase in national output or productivity, whereas nominal GDP also is changed by inflation as well. Amazing. I also wanted to talk about the multiplier effect, which is on the bottom half there. So the multiplier effect is denoted by the letter K, and it essentially occurs when an initial injection or withdrawal from the circular flow of income causes a larger final change in real output or real GDP, whatever you want to call it. The equation you can see on this side is the multiplier is, or letter K, is equal to the change in real GDP over the change in the total net injection, and it can be positive or negative, indicating whether it's good or bad for the economy. And generally, we say that if the injection into the economy is bigger than the overall withdrawal, we get a positive multiplier effect, or positive multiplier, sorry. And if it's smaller, then obviously we get a negative one. So yeah, that's essentially all I wanted to talk about in this video. Those are all the notes I made on the circular flow of income, and I think it's quite comprehensive. Please feel free to correct me on anything. Comment below if you have any questions. I'd be happy to help, and it really does help me as well with my revision coming up to A-levels. So yeah, also shout out to my first 3 subscribers, Reza, George and Joe, day ones. Thank you so much. And yeah, more videos to come, so stay tuned.